Welcome back to Female Voices Life and Lost. I am Wayna.
Teresa, and today we're talking about something that surprises so many people after loss:
Hmm.
anxiety.
Not just sadness, not just grief, but fear, panic, restlessness, and a sense that something isn't right. After someone dies, or after a major loss, I'll say that, the world can suddenly feel unsafe, even when nothing is actually wrong. If you have felt hyper alert,
Hmm.
panicked, unable to relax, afraid something bad is about to happen, this episode is for you because this experience is far more normal than people realize. When we lose someone, especially suddenly or traumatically, our
Hmm.
brain learns something very, very quickly. Bad things happen. Life is unpredictable. I am not as safe as I thought I. For me, I went through all of those things when my son died. That concept never even entered my mind. Like, I'm a mama bear, so I feel like, long as I'm protecting, providing, I got them. They're going to be good. It never occurred to me that I needed to worry about them in the arms of someone else. So my world went upside down when that happened. So the brain's primary job is to survive, to protect. So after loss, your brain shifts into scanning mode, constantly asking. And my brain did it probably hourly.
Yeah.
What else could go wrong? What else could I lose? What threat am I missing? When my son passed away that day, the Lord is so gracious, and Teresa hears me say it all the time. He's so gracious because he gave me the thought. I had no clue, I had no context for this thought, but the thought was to my spouse, "You're moving too fast." I said, "Something is getting ready to happen." I said, "Because you're too busy. You're too distracted." I said, you need to slow down. You need to slow down." That's all I knew. That's all I knew. And it's
Hmm.
not like I heard a voice because some people hear the Lord's voice. I don't hear it. He just plants a thought in my mind. Like, you need to start paying attention. So for others, when you or what are you missing, it can look like checking on your loved ones repeatedly, overprotectiveness, catastrophic thinking, panic attacks, fear of relaxing, fear of happiness. Oh my God, I think this is what me and my therapist talked about last week.
Oh.
Because we were talking about just grief and how that participates in your life where you cannot truly access happiness or you can access pleasure, different things like that. So we were comparing my journey around January, February, 6 months after my son had passed, versus where I am now, which is 2.5 years. And she was like, "I don't think you could access that then."
Makes sense.
And I was like, "Oh, all right." Like that helps. And when I'm and we're grown here, so I'll say that up front. But when we were talking about pleasure. And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to touch that with a 10 feet pole when my son died."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, what's happening now?" Because we were talking about menopause. So I have a complicated layer. I'm being very transparent with this audience because I want to let you guys know that it's out there. It's like the perfect storm:
Yeah.
grief, marital stress, menopause, and then all the rest. So it's been
Yeah.
hijacking. It's hijacked my system.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's keep going though. So when you think about, having a fear of happiness, that one is deeply real because the first time I laughed after my son passed away, I just immediately started crying.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I forgot him for like 2 minutes."
Yeah.
So my mind whispered, if I let myself feel good, this is then something bad will happen. I don't know if your mind whispers that. For me, it just whispers like you're not grieving correctly because you were laughing for 5 minutes. So it took joy itself became dangerous during that time. And thinking about what my therapist said, I couldn't access it. So that makes sense to me now. I
Yeah.
don't know, Teresa,
Yeah.
have you seen this with the clients that you
I
work?
I
Good.
have, and many times though, what popped in my mind right now is when I work with support groups, with those that have had pregnancy losses is the support group that I'm thinking about right now.
Mhm.
Is there is always the fear when you said what else could go wrong
Mm,
and who else could I lose? There
mhm,
is a lot and lots of anxiety within that group for that. Like if this can happen, what else can happen? And
mhm,
so they always on heightened alert with anxiety. And of
mhm.
course, like you said, that fear of happiness or relaxing or because what else is going to happen?
Yeah.
So that is very much, very real with the people um, that I work with. I'm working with a couple right now that anxiety is super, super high. So, but your brain job really is for protection
Mhm,
after loss, and it scans for danger, and that's why you fear happiness. You struggle to relax. You anticipate disaster
mhm.
because that's really how it's designed. And
Yeah.
a lot of that we're just designed that way and we're just not in control of it.
Yeah. And when I think about my son passing away, my immediate thought was protection really for my
Mhm.
family and for my husband. My husband, he's in AA. And so in my mind, I'm being hyper focused. I was like, oh my God, I could have lost my husband the same day. Cause what if he would have took his life too? Because of this negligence. So I was very protective of my husband, my kids in that season. And for me, that season was like a few months just because everybody around me was like very
Mhm.
confused as to how I was moving. But that was that survival mode. My brain was just attaching to something that made sense because this
Sure.
did not make sense at all.
Sure.
Hypervigilant. I was just like, and I'm not quite sure that that nervous system has relaxed completely. It's been
Yeah.
2.5 years, but I can't say that it's completely turned off.
Probably not.
No, I'm like, you know.
Not the best for
Mm-mm.
it to stay on.
Hypervigilance. That means your
Mhm.
nervous system is always on, it's always alert, it's always scanning, it's always bracing. You might notice or you're startled easily, trouble sleeping. Teresa mentioned some of these earlier.
Mhm.
Racing thoughts, nervousness, so tension, feeling
Mhm.
like you cannot truly exhale. And that
Mhm.
was, my God, I was doing that these last month. I was like, am I having a panic attack? I can't breathe. It was
Mhm.
my allergies though.
Oh, okay.
But, I got all this stuff going on. I was like, I
Sure.
had to sit there. So sometimes you might have to slow yourself down. I had to slow myself down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm having trouble breathing, but I don't have any thoughts. I'm not ruminating. So I was like, what is happening? Like, let me try this prescription allergy medicine. See if that gives me some relief.
I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that you
Right
figured it
away,
out.
but I was struggling with that for at least a month because I was like,
Wow.
but
Wow.
so just make sure your physical health, mental health, all those things are in check.
Important.
But
Mhm.
the last part, it's a sense that you're waiting for something bad. And here is the part I want you guys to really, really hear. This does not mean you are broken. Because sometimes we feel guilty for not getting those things right. It means your body's trying to protect you from more pain. So your system is saying, we've been hurt before. Let's make sure that never happens again. Can we do that? No, not realistic. But your brain is like, we are going to try. We're going to be
Yeah.
super hyper focused. Nothing's going to catch us slipping.
Yeah.
But even though painfully, we know life doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah. So how do you calm that? How have you been calming that? Taking your allergy medicine? Besides that.
No, that had only happened this year. I didn't feel like that before.
Okay. Okay.
That's only this last month. I didn't feel panic attacks or anything.
Before.
My therapist
Okay.
likes to say I was in shock for the first year.
First.
For me, I just got busy. I was just like, "Hey, if my time is limited on this earth, I'm gonna use it wisely. I'm not
Mm.
using it to argue. I'm not using it to go back and forth on things that don't make sense. Like, my boundaries and clarity became real clear on what I was allowing into my space going forward. And people were
Yeah.
confused because on the other side of this grief, I became a different person.
Of course.
So for me, calming it just felt like just, one foot in front of the other. I was finished with grad school. Okay, Luana, get your license. Okay, let's study for that. Got the license. Okay, let's find a job. But before I got the license, I got a job. And I got a job working with little people, which, oh my God. I went to work with little bitty kids in kindergarten. It was so, oh my God, it was exactly what I needed. All those little babies.
Because
They gave
many
me so
people
much
could not do
motivation.
that.
What you say?
Many people could not do that.
Now that's what the grief lady and grief share said.
Yeah.
Wayna, oh, in my parent grief group too. They said, Wayna, some people cannot get out their bed. And you're getting out your bed. You're learning more about grief. You're wanting to help other people. Because I got certified as a grief counselor. They were like, you're holding grief support groups. Who does that? And I was like, I gotta use this to help other people. I don't want them to feel stuck. I don't want them to think they're alone. And that's how I knew the Lord was still with me because I didn't want to put that hurt on anybody else. I didn't want nobody else to lose their kid. If my kid can be the last one, I will take it. But I wanted to I put one foot in front of the other. So I did a lot of remarkable things in this time. God be the glory. But prayer and definitely friends and therapy.
Those are all good things.
So, you
Yeah.
don't you don't calm the storm. You don't calm it by not shaming it. So we're not shaming our feelings. We're not shaming anything that comes up during this season. We are not forcing grief away because it only comes back knocking that much louder.
Yes, it does.
Not by saying I shouldn't feel this way.
Mm.
Which is
Mm.
hard, right? Because I know for some moms who've had their babies a lot longer. Like, I had them for 30 years. I shouldn't be so mad. No,
Mhm.
that's your baby, that's your loved one, that's whoever. No.
I think that all comes from comparison.
Mhm. Where do you
Yeah.
find comparison? And Imma give a comparison in a minute, but yeah, where do you see it show up?
Well, I think we just compare to other people that we feel
Mhm,
or that we see that maybe had a loss of a child
mhm,
or had a loss of a parent and they're doing much better. So I think we compare
mhm.
uh, to someone else that we know. So then we say that, well, I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't feel this way because look, they're not feeling like this. But my comment to that is, you really don't know how they feel.
Right.
And you're comparing to something that you're seeing and you don't
Mhm.
know how they feel.
And I like to say, just ask a question. Just ask. Don't
Yeah.
assume, just ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and so many of my friends have had this conversation 18 times because they're on Facebook and they're
Hmm.
like, Wayna, you've put 5 posts out about Joshi. How are you? And I'm like, I'm good. But they saw the remembers, they see the grief posts, and they're like, just think I'm in a room crying. I may or may not be. Does it like
Right.
ask a question? And then I told them, quit going online to see how I'm doing. Please stop doing that. Even
Hmm.
though I said it, they still do it. But and then they're very confused when they text me. It's like, "What are you doing?"
Hmm.
So I would ask the audience, please, if you wanna know how someone's doing, please just ask them, because I'm not a person who cries very easily, I'll say that.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean I'm not sad. That doesn't mean I'm not low today. Just
Hmm.
because I answer the phone and I say hello, if you don't hear me trembling, that doesn't mean that I'm not low.
Yeah.
I need you to ask. If you're one of my friends, please ask. So
Yeah.
get real curious. Just get real curious. Try not to judge yourself in this season and try not to judge other people. Let's
Hmm.
see. So you get curious by gently asking because anxiety after loss is often fear of another loss. And I talked about that earlier.
Hmm.
Another shock. And I got a shock too. And you would
Yeah.
not believe if you see your loved one deceased, you don't believe that something else can hurt you. Like,
Mm.
you think that that is the biggest hurt I can ever. No. Some of my cousins did the most disrespectful things those
Oh,
months
no.
afterwards, and
Hmm.
I didn't realize that it would hurt me, what they did, and it did. It really, really did, and it's like,
Hmm.
man. I lose my son, and then you turn around and do something so gutter. I'm like, I cannot be in
Mm,
fellowship with these type of people going forward
yeah,
was my end. But
yeah.
another loss, another shock, another moment you are not prepared for. And there were at least 10 of those moments that I just was not prepared for that came at the loss. Because anybody that's a friend of mine knows I'm a full service friend. So I'd be like, I would
Mm,
never treat anybody like that.
yeah.
Why?
Mm,
It's just mind boggling sometimes. And
yeah.
so then we begin slowly reintroducing safety, not all at once, but in small, consistent ways. These ways look like intentional breathing. Teresa was talking about that
Mhm.
earlier. A lot of people just, you aren't breathing normally because you're just bracing yourself.
Yeah. Mhm.
Grounding into the present moment. What do I see? What's here? What am I smelling? What am I feeling? Teresa always talks about grounding and going outside, getting your feet into the earth. Those are all things that you can do to get yourself back present. Saying out loud, right now, I'm safe. Noticing when fear is future based. And I'm trying to think. I don't believe I had a whole lot of fear future based things happening. I had some
Mhm.
other things, but that wasn't
Yeah,
it. Okay. And then reminding your body, this is memory, not danger. And I think for myself, I did some very intentional things when my son died because I didn't want to remember him that way. So I didn't look at him too long that way. I didn't
okay.
touch him because I didn't want to feel his cold body. I didn't want that to be in my psyche. And then, when I spoke to him, but I spoke to him as if he was still living. I was just like and that helped me, nobody believed. My husband was like, "How are you able to talk to him?" I was like, "'Cause I'm his mother." So
Mm.
for
Yeah,
me, I was like, "Baby boy, you rest. I'll take it from here." So whatever grief looks like, whatever is on the other side of this, I will take it, long as you rest.
beautiful.
So safety after loss is not instant. It's rebuilt moment by moment.
Yeah,
So be gentle with yourself in this moment. You've never been here before.
for
There
sure.
isn't there are many books, but no one knows your story. Teresa, you got any lasting things you want to share with our audience?
Well, I just think with this, we're talking about like that anxiety, and I think it's very, very real.
Mhm,
I think just really every client, whether it's I talked earlier about the support group, but even individual clients that I work with, anxiety is just a piece of it. And I do over and over and over and over teaching them to ground, breath work,
mhm,
saying out
mhm,
loud that you're safe, remembering that it is not a danger anymore. And
mhm,
so I think it's super important to just reiterate that with people. And of course, if the anxiety is so great that you need something for it,
mhm,
need more support, get
mhm,
that support. But there are tools that we just talked about, things that you
mhm,
can do on your own. But if that's not working, let's make sure that you get the support that you need. And many times it could be a short period of time that you need something. And I'm speaking like some medication or whatever to
mhm,
help you
mhm,
through that period of time. But I think
mhm,
sometimes people don't want to do that. But if it's needed, but it's an individual thing. Just like
mhm,
grief is very individual to you, many can do the grounding things that we just talked about and work through that. And it
mhm,
is work,
mhm.
but there are those, I want to just say that there are those that they need more, and make sure that you get more if that's what you need. Does that make sense?
So true, so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a moment when I realized my anxiety wasn't weakness. It was my body desperately trying to prevent more pain that
Mhm.
shifted everything. Instead of fighting myself, I started working with my nervous system, speaking it. Now, if anybody knows me, they know I pretty much shoot from the hip most of the time.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna speak it. I'm gonna name it. Calming it is a little harder for me to do at times, and reassuring it. After I
Mhm.
remember the first night I slept without a panic. And that was probably a long time. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Because my son would wake me up every night. So it took a long time for that to change.
Yeah.
But when it did, it was a big deal for me because healing after loss often arrives quietly. So no one
Mhm.
sees it. Only you notice the shift inside yourself. So not as a dramatic breakthrough, because Lord knows this is a daily walk, this grief journey, but as a
Mhm.
gentle return of breath, rest,
Mhm.
stillness.
Yeah, I had a client that I just talked to today that is one of the goals that she wants to achieve is being able to sleep
Mm,
through the night,
mhm.
not being woken in the middle of the night with panic, anxiety. So I'm looking forward to walking her through grief to achieve that.
Yeah.
And for you, it sounds like it took quite a while. And again, it's an individual thing, but that is definitely, I think that's with a lot of people.
Mhm.
It's like, I would just like to sleep. I'm so tired. I just would love to be able to sleep
Yeah.
and rest.
Well, I already had sleep issues, and then he didn't sleep the whole time. He never slept past maybe 3 hours his whole
Oh,
life. I was struggling. It's like I had a newborn for 4 years. Man,
yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say this, if your world feels unsafe right now, ask yourself, what small signal of safety can I offer myself today? Not forever, not perfectly, just today. Fear after loss doesn't mean you're weak.
It means you've loved deeply. We
Yeah,
share that all the time. It's all about the love that you've experienced. And your body is really trying to make sure you survive that love by protecting you.
yeah.
Let's teach it. Let's teach your body that you
Mhm.
are safe again. You are safe.
If this conversation resonated, share it with someone who might need to hear they are not alone. Grief isn't something you get over, it's something you learn to carry differently. We are both honored to walk alongside you. Teresa's a grief coach. Wayna's a grief counselor. We are here for you. You can reach us at our Facebook page, Female Voices Life and Lost. You can
Mhm.
inbox us, leave us a message, share this episode if you feel someone you know needs it. Until next time, be gentle with your heart.